They are leaning into something that people are already thinking about. Today, we are going to be pulling back the curtain and diving in to the marketing of the Motley Fool, Fool.com, a true traffic juggernaut. Hey guys, it's Jason here with you from AdSkills.com, bringing you this episode of The Edge, my first episode, and I'm super excited to jump in. This is going to be really interesting. I've been following these guys since probably 2018, snipping their ads, putting them in my swipes. I've actually worked in this industry. We call it the FinPub industry. So I've been in since about 2018. Interesting fact, I met a guy, Brenton Flynn, in adskills.com. He actually worked for the Motley Fool, worked at their office there in the DC area, and he later moved on to a company called Investing Daily, and he brought me aboard. That's how I got into this whole financial niche, but it's deeply interesting. Like I said, I've been swiping them, but note, their strategy has adapted and changed over the years, so we're going to peel that back too. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into the tools. All right, first things first, let's just take a look at their website. So for those of you that don't know, and I think a lot of you do because the Motley Fool has become a household name in finance. Usually all the normies out there that I talk to, not us internet marketers, media buyers, entrepreneurs, they actually know what this company is. A lot of companies out there that are direct response, performance advertisers, people have never heard of them before. So I find it really cool that the Motley Fool's built a brand, but let's just take a look at what they do. They offer a stock picking service, right? New stock picks each month, detailed analysis of companies, model portfolios, and advanced tools, live streaming during the market hours. So if we scroll on down here, they've got their whole philosophy laid out, trending news, which is huge for them. But if we scroll on down a little bit further, they're actually going to show you their products right here on the front page. So they've got their $99 newsletter, which is core to everything they do. And we're going to see that more in a moment. And they also have some upsells. So Stock Advisor, Epic Bundle, and Backstage. And these guys have actually been around since the 90s. They probably started in direct mail and telemarketing. And then when the internet came along, they jumped onto that. But you'll see that their brand has developed into quite a behemoth. Now, like I said, I've been following these guys for about 5 years. I think their marketing is really smart. They're really strong at the fundamentals. But one thing has changed in the last couple of years or so. When I was researching them a few years ago, all I researched was a stock picking service. But now they've actually introduced something else. And I have to share this because you're actually going to see it when I jump into the tools. So if you actually type in the Ascent.com, it's going to bring you to this subpage of the Fool. Now, what is the Ascent? What in the world is it? Well, they're actually going even broader in the financial world because it's all about the best credit cards. So interesting thing is that, my daughter, she's 18 years old and she's all into this thing of trying to get her credit started. And she's actually interested in investing. So that actually shows you it's not just old people interested in investing and making money. She's interested as well in both the credit card side and the investing side, which I find interesting because a lot of times when I'm going into the ad network, I'm excluding the 18-year-olds, but let's not be so judgmental exactly. So on the Ascent, what they're doing is reviewing credit cards. Now, I don't have any experience in this niche, but I've heard it's pretty lucrative. I've heard from small ad networks reps out there. They've said that, man, the people who are marketing credit cards, they're willing to pay a lot per click. So I'd be interested to hear if any of you guys have any experience with this niche. But that's actually what the Motley Fool decided to do, is start a sub brand called the Ascent, and they're reviewing high yield savings, which is huge right now, credit cards, personal loans, mortgage, really everything money. Now think about it, health, wealth, and relationships. They're going after all of wealth, not just a sub niche, all of wealth. So as we dive in their marketing, you're going to see a lot of promotions around what they're doing with the Ascent. And you're still going to see the Stock Advisor. You're just going to see that the Ascent. I noticed this the other day when I was preparing that they're doing a lot with the Ascent. But let's go ahead and jump into SEMRush. 29.2 million visits. I mean, that's a lot of traffic. Wouldn't you like to have some of that traffic? Just a little bit of that traffic? Man, let's look at this. Okay, so category rank in finance. which is huge, right? They're number 9. Why aren't they number 1? Well, let's just take a look. Let's just take a look now and see who all's in this niche. If I go to finance, okay, Fidelity, Schwab, The Street, Ameritrade, TD Ameritrade. Okay, what do 4 out of 5 of these have in common? These are actually websites where the mainstream public is going and doing their trading. So they're actually transacting. Those are massive brokerages. So for the Motley Fool as a online publisher, essentially an online information business in the info space, I mean, that's pretty huge to be up there at number 9. And we see the streets up there too. I don't know if you've heard of Jim Cramer. He has a show called Mad Money, nationally syndicated. So Motley Fool is way up there. And one thing I really love about what the Motley Fool does, and I want to point this out, I really want to point this out. They're not just performance direct response marketers where they're trying to get the click, they're trying to convert you. They don't care if you know who they are. They try to get you to buy their product. They try to play all the copywriter psychological games with you. And then in the midst of all that, forget to have a brand. No, these guys haven't done that. These guys, like I said, they're a household name. And okay, that's just me saying this right now, but we'll take a look and you're actually going to see why I'm saying that. Proof through the tools. But if we come over here, organic search traffic, 7.7 million. Paid search traffic, 57.7K, 122.5 million backlinks. I told you guys, they're not messing around. Let's just take a look at the type of keywords that they're coming up for. Tesla stock, they're ranking for this, 5 million monthly searches. Amazon stock, 2.2 million. They're coming up for the word Pinterest. These are organic keywords, okay? Etsy, Pinterest. If we look at more of these, let's just pull this back a second. AMZN, that's the ticker symbol. TSLA, Tesla. SoFi stock. The search volume on stocks and stock tickers is absolutely enormous. And these guys are ranking for these terms. And of course, you're starting to see how they can have as much traffic as I showed you. This brings me to my next point. These guys are SEO titans. I mean, they are at the top of their game. And as far as the Motley Fool being information publishers, they are what I would consider creme de la creme as online information publishers. And we're going to dive a little deeper into why. So we're going to jump over because I really just have to point this out about the SEO. So on MSN, I don't know if it's going to come up for me now, but the Motley Fool will show up as a contributor on these various sites like Yahoo and MSN. Yes, they will show up as paid ads, which is great, but they also show up as organic contributors. And I don't think that's something just everyone can do, but this is the level of clout that the Motley Fool has. I bet if I go over to money, see if I can find them. Market Brief, Market Watch, Fortune, Bloomberg, Benzinga, Seeking Alpha, The Street, Investor Place. Didn't let me down. There's the Motley Fool. This is an organic article. So this is where a lot of traffic is coming from. If you go to Yahoo Finance, you're also going to see them coming up organically, right? So these are all pretty elite sites, trusted websites, probably a key component into becoming a household name. So you see the Motley Fool there. Sometimes I see the Motley Fool up in this main block. It just changes day by day. And one other thing I want to point out. So if we jump back over to SEMRush, who are their main competitors? They're up here with like top tier names. NASDAQ.com, Bankrate, CNBC, Seeking Alpha, NerdWallet. I mean, NerdWallet runs TV commercials. They're a well-established name. So they are well trusted, well respected. So when we jump down to paid keywords, of course, they're bidding on their own name. This is a tip that if you've been in ad skills, you learn to bid on your branded keywords. And something I find extremely interesting here, I almost don't want to believe this. $326 to bid on this term. I know lawyers' terms cost a lot of money, but the Motley Fool, is it that valuable? Wow. Okay, I guess it is. That's what the tool is telling me. And what I was saying about bidding on their own term, when you come over and you search the Motley Fool in Google, look what comes up. Look at the Google ad here. Boom. They've got a fully fleshed out ad. Look how much screen real estate they're taking up. We're actually going to see how they just dominate this entire page. So this is their sponsored, their Google search ad, and here is their organic. Now, a lot of people might say, well, why would you do this if you've got this? Well, here they can optimize. They can choose exactly what pages they're going to send them to, and they can just keep optimizing on the fly. This is all geared towards getting an ROI, right? And plus, they're just taking over the whole page. They don't have, some other brand just outbidding them and coming up ahead of them, right? Imagine if you were searching for the Motley Fool because you've seen their advertising, you want to potentially buy their service, and then you see another advertiser taking up this entire block. So they've got their own term, their brand name on lockdown. And what's even more impressive when you combine it with their SEO, I mean, it's just fortified. Let's take a look at this. Like, they're sponsored, their search ad right here, their organic listing, they're over here on the right. When you scroll down, their logos, their YouTube channel, their Facebook page. They actually have another division that's Motley Fool Asset Management, so another sub-brand. Careers. Okay, finally, NASDAQ.com, another major website, makes it onto the page because they did an article about the Motley Fool, and I guess they have some SEO authority as well. But when we come down here, you see this is on double lock. And finally, all the way down here, you see the other guys coming in here. $199 per year. Probably pretty smart to go ahead and put the prices in the ad like the street's doing here, because if you're searching the Motley Fool, you might be interested in buying a subscription. So their competitor comes out with an ad like this. But I would say Motley Fool's doing a really good job of keeping this page on lockdown. They've got their search locked down tight. So let's take a look at some of the other keywords that they are bidding on. So high interest savings account, credit card, man, that's a broad term. They're bidding on these. High yield savings account. They're bidding on all of these. Of course, it's for the Ascent, their credit card sub brand. So if we click on one of these, which I did, I opened this window over here, you can see that they are doing reviews on these credit cards. Kind of like a listicle, right? Wonder how much they're getting if you go ahead and successfully apply there. I'm thinking this is pretty lucrative. So when you look down here on the page, they're telling you what the Ascent is all about. The Ascent brings financial expertise, trusted advice, and unbiased analysis to the world of daily finance decisions. Our mission is to help you live more richly. I like it. So it's all credit cards, high interest savings accounts, best credit cards, all of this stuff for the Ascent. I'm telling you, they're really putting a lot of emphasis on the Ascent. Stock Advisor. Okay, there's one for Stock Advisor. How to invest in stocks. So right here, we see the term best stocks to buy, but you can see by this first page of results, they're really leaning hard to this other area of their business, this newer area, the Ascent. They're still advertising their Stock Advisor service. They're just going doubly hard on this on channels like search, and they're putting a lot of emphasis on it. Now we're going to jump into AdBeat and see what they are doing on display and native. This is pretty interesting. I remember when I was, pulling a lot of their ads from my swipes several years ago, their number one channel was Taboola. I don't remember seeing this one so high up. Microsoft advertising. Check this out. This is showing up as 1.8 million in spend. This is their largest channel on native and display. Their largest channel on AdBeat is Microsoft Ads. And it's kind of interesting, right? Because we're always talking about Google, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Never hear much about Microsoft, but when you really dive in and you start peeling back the onion on some of these brands, there you go. You see that Microsoft can definitely be a beast of a traffic source. Don't doubt it. So just actually jumping over here to MSN, which would be Microsoft's, as far as I know, it would be the largest traffic source. I mean, they have Bing, but a lot of these ads are going to, you're just going to serve a lot more on the audience network. So over here, what I was talking about earlier, this is an organic article, so they have a massive presence there. This is always a good place to come and look around to see what's happening in the world of direct response, because you can get a lot of traffic on Microsoft. It's a good practice to come over here for your swipe files and see what people are advertising. Look at all these different ad placements. So I don't know if the Motley Fool is going to show up, but you just have all these different blocks. Ads over here, banner ads on the side, and then you're going to get into your native units. So you see TripAdvisor, another huge brand, all mixed in. There's Motley Fool, another organic. Very, very small distinction. See, this is organic. This is an ad. The only thing distinguishing it is this right here. So it blends in, kind of like Facebook. These posts blend right in. So let's jump back over to AdBeat and see what type of ads they're running. Let's open up some of their creative. So this is for the Ascent. This credit card is a slam dunk if you need a balance transfer. Thousands lining up for this card with 1,306 in rewards. That's an interesting odd number. I've always heard those odd numbers work pretty well in marketing. At least we like to tell ourselves that. I think they do. So that's more advertising for the Ascent on those ads there. Okay, here we get into some native ads for their stock advising service. Let's just check this ad out. Discover our number one stock fueling the AI gold rush. Could this AI gold rush create the next trillionaire? Okay, interesting. So think about this. As marketers, AI is all the rage. You're hearing about it. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone became an expert in the last like month or whatever, right? But beyond our niche of marketers, this is also in the news everywhere, right? So everyone's thinking about this. Everyone's thinking about AI. Is AI going to take my job? Is AI going to do this? Is AI going to do that? It's on CNBC. So what they're doing here is they are leaning into something that people are already thinking about. The news is bringing up the big waves. It's bringing up the tide of attention around AI. So they're not going and doing some obscure thing that no one's thinking about. They're jumping right into this trend. It's very big on stocks, right? People look at the trends and they always wish they would have bought something that they missed out on, right? So let's take a look at the advertorial lander. So when you open up this advertorial lander, matches up with the ad there. Look at this headline. CEO says this is worth 13 Amazons. And here's something I just want to explain very briefly. People, they look back, they wish they bought Microsoft in the 80s. Man, if I would have just bought $1,000 worth of Microsoft and forgot about it, I'd have millions now. They wish they'd bought Apple in the 90s. They wish they'd bought Amazon in the 2000s and Tesla in the 2010s. So when you say something like this is worth 13 Amazons. And look at this. Look at this. This is a chance to get in early. This is the core of what people want to hear that are looking for investments, right? Not everyone out there is, this genius Warren Buffett who's just so far ahead of the curve and so patient. We're all just looking for the next Amazon. Like, man, just, tell me about this stock. So this has people's attention, right? And it's a native article, very simple, right? It's coming up in this type of environment. If you ran it as an ad, boom, it stands out. AI. Okay, worth Team Amazon's chance to get in early. If I'm the avatar, yes, tell me more. Tell me more. All right, they're referencing Bezos here, the CEO of ARK Investments. The market cap, it could be as large as 13 Amazons, which is just insane, right? But this is feeding into what everyone's thinking about AI. We all want to be early on a stock, buy it for 50 cents and watch the thing go up to $2,000 a share. 5 years from now, you'll probably wish you'd bought this stock. So this is some good copywriting, and something I noticed Motley Fool does. I don't see this on every advertorial from every advertiser out there, but this is something that they do and something worth studying because they've been doing this for a while. Do you know which stock we're talking about? Yes or no? Well, I can already tell you either one I click, it's going to be the same result. So I'm just going to opt in here. Yes, I want to know about this stock. Tell me what is going to be worth 13 Amazons. I just have to know. All right, they're putting an offer in front of me. What do we have here? Okay, so they're touting their stock advisor service, 174 recommendations, so showing the proof with more than 100% return. Wow. I mean, these guys have to keep a record of when they do this, like they legally have to, right? So they recommended these. Netflix, they've been, like I said, they've been around for a while. Boom. There's your $99 offer or a downsell to $39. Now, I'm sure if I bought this, I'm going to be taken through a chain of upsells. And the way FinPub generally works is if I got this subscription, I'm going to dive in. I'm going to open my emails because I'm paying for this newsletter, which is delivered over email. And they also have a members area. But then I'm going to get upsold into more expensive memberships that are $2,000, $2,500, $5,000 per year. That might be like a more specialized recommendation service, right? That's how they get their LTV from their customers. But do you see what they're doing here? They do these. This is another lander, right? This is another style they do, but they stick to a pretty straightforward formula. Motley Fool is very good. Like they've got a formula that works and they're spending a lot on advertising, right? So we jump back over here. We see that they're spending a lot on advertising and they stick to this formula, which this is something I always like to point out. If when I've worked with clients and they've got a ton of funnels going on and they've got all these different offers and all these you know, complex marketing pathways. And I point them to the Motley Fool. I show them, look how much traffic these guys have. This is their strategy. The only thing they're ever selling you on the front end for the stock advisor service, every time they're showing you an advertorial, you go to the advertorial, you opt in, you're on their email marketing, boom, there's a $99 offer. That's it. And you see the amount of traffic they're running. So it's all about that $99 front end, right? I've seen people who have 10, 15 different front ends can do a lot with keeping it more simple, find out what works. And when you see other advertorials that they do, they're going to be very, very similar to this framework. These are the only templates I've actually seen them use. This image here, skinny article, there could be others out there, and I've seen this one. That's it. Oh, and one bonus thing I want to point out. I just think I'm just geeking out on this. I think it's really cool. I want to show you all this. I just have to geek out here a little bit because these are the kind of thoughts I have when I'm just browsing the web myself. So apps like Apple News, Apple Stocks, those are premium, nice feeling apps. If you ever look at these apps, you should take a look and notice the advertisements, right? Again, all these premium publishers, you're in good company here. New York Magazine, American Banker, USA Today, Business Insider, all these articles. And I'm showing you this because I saw an ad from Motley Fool when I was researching. Here you see one from Fisher Investments, also a large advertiser. A really nice place to be, right? Think about it. Contextual advertising. If I'm opening this app, I'm probably interested in stocks, business, and money. Perfect place for the Motley Fool to be. And I know they were there because I saw them. These ads rotate out. Sometimes you'll see Motley Fool, sometimes you'll see Fisher, sometimes you'll see Smart Asset. Those are the big key players. I wish I could show you this in the wild right now, but you get the point. Now we're going to jump over to Social Blade. There wasn't a lot for me to learn here. You do see that they have 425K subscribers, decent amount of subscribers. When you go over to YouTube, I was going to say the other day I saw an ad also showing on YouTube, but you come over to YouTube, let's take a look. 425K subscribers. We'll go to the Motley Fool. In my pre-preparation here, I noticed something interesting. They have a good amount of subscribers. That's respectable. But if we go to videos and we look at latest, well, their latest video was about a year ago. So that actually tells me that they kind of walked away from the whole YouTube thing. And I got curious, right? And I typed in the Ascent Motley Fool because I thought maybe, well, they've moved all the attention over to the Ascent and are just focused on that as far as YouTube goes. But they really don't have many subscribers there. And when I looked here, they kind of walked away from this one too. I don't really know what to make of this. Maybe they're taking their video efforts somewhere else. On their website, it did say that they are doing daily live streaming. Maybe they've moved their video efforts elsewhere. And a lesson that I take away from this is even a large company, they're big company, you can look them up and they have a big office in the DC area. You still have to think about how you want to deploy your resources. Feels like they're everywhere, but in this case, we see that they said, we're not going to do that. We're going to do something else. I suspected that they just have a different strategy, especially seeing that icon about how they do streaming during market hours. Maybe they're using some other type of service. But yep, they pretty much just kind of walked away from YouTube. Okay, let's jump into their Facebook ads. This is something pretty interesting. All right, when we look at their Facebook ads, you'll see that they're also doing a native strategy. So they're treating Facebook just like they would a native channel because this is essentially the same ad. It's a different image. Could this AI gold rush create the next trillionaire? Who's fueling the AI gold rush? 5 years from now, you probably wish you would have grabbed these stocks, right? So it's going to just take you to the same landing page, different image, different headline, something they're testing here, right? Skinny article, could be a lot of the same copy, but they're running the same strategy on Facebook, which doing little takeaways here, filing them away in my mental notes. You can run Facebook like native ads. All right, guys, that was a pretty intense geek out session. I hope you learned something. I planted some seeds of ideas in your brains. I hope you have some ideas for your swipes, things you might deploy in your strategy. Either way, it's fun doing the research. It's fun geeking out on this stuff. This is Jason signing off. I'll see you in the next episode.